Welcome back to Lenz's Comic Corner, Classics/Non-Classics. This is number 1215 and Doubleshot number 1109. I got two flash trades, and both these two are the end of the first run of the New 52 era of the Flash series, the one from 2011-2016. The end of the first writer's run for the book, the first creative team for the book, and the run by Francis Manapul and Brian Buccellato. Though here's something quite strange, though. Francis Manapul leaves after this arc, even though Brian Buccellato still got one more story coming after this one. Now, I have heard Francis Manapul has got a reputation for doing this. I don't really know why, but he does. Okay, so first, basically, Francis Manapul, his last story of his run, this is Reverse, which, yes, this is the storyline about the third Verse Flash. Who is he? Daniel West, the brother of Iris. Yep, Iris' younger brother. Well, yeah. And his outfit, oh my gosh. His outfit is so weird. Also, Barry runs into Bartor. Yep, runs to him briefly in this storyline. This storyline takes up issues 20, 25, and the Reverse Flash one-shot. Now, this is technically what the Reverse Flash looks like. Black with red, and of course, the Reverse Flash symbol. Yep, that's what this Flash looks like. Now, he's in the storyline. He pops up once after this briefly in Venditti's run, and then he pops the new Suicide Squad. I'll get to that after I talk about... Actually, I'll talk about that more about that in a bit. Yep, so... Now, Barry fights Reverse Flash, though he doesn't make a thought in the storyline. Now, I do have a theory of why this version of Reverse Flash was created. The reason being was because, this is my personal theory, I think they probably really wanted to use Eobard Thawne, but maybe, and this is my personal theory, that or the fact that they revealed that possibly that Gorilla Grodd ate his brain, or the fact that DC told him no, they can't use Eobard Thawne because we're saving him for a later date. Because they do kind of use a version of him, which, that, believe it or not, is canon. I'll talk more about that in a minute, basically. I'll talk about the Zoom storyline. We'll talk about that in my next review when it comes to Flash. Yep. Now, basically, this still continues relations between Barry and Patty Spivot. Now, pre-Flashpoint, Barry and Patty did briefly date, but it wasn't a full-blown relationship like it was in this book. Yeah, they dated throughout the entirety of this run, and then, of course, I'll talk more about that when I talk about Rob Venditti's run. Yep. So, in this storyline, investigates, various other people who are supposedly, of course, Flash is a celebrity, and the fact that there's appearance by the Scott Lobdell Teen Titans, Bartor, a.k.a. Kid Flash, Cassie Sandmark, a.k.a. Wonder Girl. Don't call her Wonder Girl. Yeah, that's the way that Scott Lobdell wrote her. Red Robin in his really odd outfit. We have Superboy, a.k.a. Con-El, in his Tron-inspired attire, who... This is one of his few appearances out of his own title and his own solo book. Bunker, a very popular character that Lobdell brought back in his run for Red Hood Outlaw. Well, he brought back in the current run rather than the Outlaws, which was retitled to Red Hood Outlaw, which that was a smart move on his part, bringing this character back, because this character is probably by far the only character that a lot of people actually liked in this run. And Celeste, who is a puff of smoke. Yep. So here's the strange thing about this character. This character did appear throughout the Lobdell run, but toward the end of the first volume of New 52 era for the Teen Titans, basically post-Flashpoint, she left the team, and she was never seen again. This happened during the trial Kid Flash storyline, where at the time, people thought this was actually Bart Allen. Just with a slightly different costume. Nope, not him at all. Nope, it's a murderer from the future named Bart Tor, who had a sister. Not related to Barry at all. Nope. Why the heck he assumed the identity of Bart Allen, I have no idea. Which, by the way, after the events of the trial of Kid Flash, he did pop up in the next volume for the series, where he's part of the Elite, basically group of teenage version, where their debut was completely random. Like, oh, let's just debut these characters at a crime scene, just basically to have a recruiting segment. Nope, they're just, here they are, all these teenage characters, which, by the way, this group would disappear after Lobdell left the book. Heck, I've talked to Lobdell about that run. Even he agrees. That run was, that storyline wasn't finished. Nope, it was rushed to conclusion because, well, probably because of Will Pfeiffer. And the reason why I came back to that book is he was asked to. I bring it up because it's New 52 Teen Titans. A lineup which, basically, for a lot of people, wasn't very popular. Now, Barry does meet Kid Flash in one issue, but he doesn't actually deal with the Reverse Flash for a couple more issues. Yep. Yeah, and by the way, the Reverse Flash one shot basically is his backstory, where it reveals that his father was abusive. Yep. Now, in pre-Flashpoint, in the Silver Age, Ira West basically was this very strange, absent-minded professor. It was really interesting to basically read about. But this version of the character, nope. Full-blown abusive father. And, well... And then we also have this wonderful sequence of Iris, because she's got access to Speed Force powers. By the way, the writer who succeeds him never brings up ever again the fact that Iris got Speed Force powers. Also, is it just me, or is it this suit is heavily inspired by the Jesse Quick attire? Yeah, this suit is heavily... This is probably, and this is my honest opinion, maybe this was basically it was an updated version of Jesse Quick, but they gave the suit to Iris West for some reason. Who, by the way that Patty's written this storyline is that she's extremely jealous of Iris due to her closeness to Barry. Yep. By the way, the Reverse Flash storyline wraps up issue 24. 25 has nothing to do with this at all. That's a 0-year tie-in, which takes place just prior to basically Barry getting his powers. Yep. This storyline overall is actually a really damn good storyline. Good evidence to it. The Reverse Flash is well developed in here. Good fight sequences between Reverse Flash and the Flash. And of course, Iris basically... here's the cover for the Reverse Flash one-shot, which I'm glad this was collected. Now this is the second of the 3 one-shots that Flash had in 2013. Because the first one was Gorilla Grodd, then this one, then the Rogues. All of them made sense. Reverse Flash, I get the reason why he was given one, despite the fact he didn't even show up in Forever Eve at all. Of course, this one is pretty much his backstory. That's what this book is. Though they kind of did the same thing with Count Vertigo during the Green Arrow book. Now, I should point out something about 3 one-shots for Flash for Forever Evil. While this one-shot was collected here, the Rogues one-shot was collected in Rogues Rebellion. Gorilla Grodd? Nope, this one-shot was never collected. Which, that's quite strange. Because you probably figure, though, wait, why didn't we collect in Rogues Rebellion even though Rogues Rebellion takes place after that? Yeah, I thought that was really kind of dumb on the part of DC to do that. But this one-shot being here makes perfect sense because it's part of the storyline. Yep. Oh, and what's Reverse Flash's Danny West's grand master plan? Go back in time and kill his father when he was a little kid, so his father could stop the abuse toward him. Though he's eventually stopped, and then he's hauled off to jail. Which, by the way, Iris disowns him. Yep, she disowns him. Also, there's wonderful sequence. I love this sequence here in this book, where Barry meets Patty's father. Yep, he meets her father for the first time at the anniversary. And I love the fact where he says this to Mr. Spivak. He says, "It's a pleasure to finally meet you. Happy anniversary. Your daughter is evidence how terrific your marriage must be." And he's like, "The pleasure is all mine." Is everything okay? No more Speed Force Killer. It's a wonderful ending to the storyline, though the epilogue is basically Iris disowns her own brother. And, well, this kind of basically ends that storyline, though that was probably something that was set at the end of this storyline was set at the end of the previous one. Now, next history lessons, that wasn't set up here at all, though they do in fact have basically become sort of a serialized case. But yeah, this trade paperback is fantastic. Love the artwork in here. Yeah. Though oddly enough, the 25th issue is actually not drawn by Francis Manapul for this volume. Nope, this is done by Chris. Actually, he does do it. He does Crow draws with Chris Spruce. Yep. Which, like I said, it has nothing to do with Reverse Flash. That's simply what it is. I get this book because, well, Reverse Flash is a damn good storyline. Well, reverse. I give this book roughly a 9.5 out of 10. Damn good storyline. Now we're on to the final trade that collects Brian Buccellato's run. Which Francis Manapul didn't draw this. Nope. Patrick Zurcher, who is a good artist, by the way. This collects the final issues of the run. Now, on this app here, they list off basically the issues this trade collects as 26 to 20 to 30. Nope, that's actually not true. This book actually collects issues 26-29. The second annual, the first annual was actually collected in the second volume for The Flash. And that's it. The annual itself is simply put when Barry first met Hal Jordan. Great story. It's a great annual issue, and it's a great team up between the two of them. Yep. And you can kind of say it could take place prior to the event, just like number 1, where they basically team up to basically rescue some kidnappees from Earth. Yeah, just an overall really damn good issue. The history lessons issues themselves, which, by the way, this is actually a quick little 3-parter, which deals with Barry trying to find the Keystone Killer, which he does, though there's also appearances by various other Flash villains in here. Yeah, like first you have appearance by, looks like Roxy Rocket. I think that's her. No, it's not Roxy Rocket. It looks like Roxy Rocket, but it isn't. Nope. Let me show you like close up. This is how Patrick Zurcher draws the Flash. I know I'm sorry for the glare, but yeah, it's a very odd look for the Flash after being drawn for 25 issues by Francis Manapul. Now that Patrick Zurcher step in. Yeah, it's quite odd for the last story arc that Brian Buccellato does, and well, he doesn't bother to finish up the run. Nope. We also have appearances by Tar Pit. Yep, Tar Pit. He's a classic Flash villain, which I believe he's a villain who fought Wally West. Yep. There's also Chrome. I'm not really familiar with this guy, but Tar Pit. Yeah, this guy did show up on an episode of The Flash where he was basically like this former gangster who got exposed to the proton accelerator explosion, and that turned him into Tar Pit. But after that first issue, like, I think they changed artists after the first issue. Like, well, let's see. This one's done by Patrick Zurcher. This one, I don't think was done by Zurcher. No, I don't think so. This one's done by, seems like it's done by different artists. This is done by Neil Googe. Yeah, Neil Googe does this artwork. It's not bad artwork, it's just that Flash looks kind of weird on this artwork. But in the case of this here, like, here's a close-up of Barry under Patrick Zurcher's artwork. It's actually not that bad look for Barry. Now, if he was, in fact, the regular artist moving forward, that would be fine. But nope, he's only here just for this one story arc, and then he leaves. Now, pretty much this storyline, you can kind of say, it loosely sets up a storyline that happens during Venditti's run. Zoom. Because he's investigating the whole thing of who really killed Barry's mother, Nora Allen. We also appearance by, I think this is, yeah, Girder. Yep, Girder shows up in here as well. Another classic Flash villain. Yep. And we also have appearance by frickin' Deadman, who pops up for an issue. Yeah, that's quite interesting. And he helps Barry deal with the Keystone Killer, who's... Because apparently he's kind of walks around with a pickaxe, which I'm thinking, wait, when I saw this look, I'm like, wait, did Patrick Zurcher rip off the killer from My Bloody Valentine? Yeah, because he was known for basically carrying around a pickaxe as a murder weapon. You know, like how basically like Michael Myers used a kitchen knife, or Jason Voorhees used a machete, or let's just say, let's see, what was another one? There was also Freddy Krueger and his claws, Leatherface and his chainsaw. I don't remember what the name of the killer was in My Bloody Valentine because I've never seen the whole film all the way through, either the original or the classic. The only I know about this particular killer because I've seen clips of the film and I've seen pictures of this damn killer. Yep. And apparently the Keystone Killer is actually a guy named Marshall Fletcher who's been possessing people. It's nice though the fact that even though this is sort of a supernatural based storyline, it's great though the fact that Deadman is here. Yep. Also with Singh here, though. Apparently Zurcher did issue 27. And then 28, well, we have another artist. We have, even though our cover artist is McKenna Jenny, who's a great artist, by the way. We have another artist, Austin Padilla, which they changed the artwork, which I'm like, really? Like, you go from the awesomeness as Patrick Zurcher to this. Like, okay, it's okay. It's not as good as Patrick Zurcher, but at least it keeps the same style that Zurcher basically has. Like a lot of messing with the Keystone Killer. They mentioned this will happen. There's some stuff here, mostly in the very next story arc. But it's a very self-contained storyline, and it's really good. Yep. And well, that's the end of this era. Now, the annual is not done by Brian Buccellato. Nope, the annual is done by... Actually, does do the annual. The artwork in here is done by Sam Bassari. It's got a couple stories in here. First story is done by Brian Buccellato. Second story is by Nicole Dubush with Cully Hammer on the interior artwork for that story. Now, the cover is now by Francis Manapul and Brian Buccellato. Yep. For the final trade that collects Brian Buccellato's run for The Flash, it's a interesting storyline to end off with. Though, for some reason, they decided to replace the artist with the very next... Like, they replaced... Now, as for why in the world that Francis Buccellato left the book, don't know why, but they did. It's kind of weird of why they left. Though, where would they go? What book would they go to right after this? They went to Detective Comics, which they did three story arcs. First, it was Icarus, a really good 5-parter that had an annual was part of the storyline. Really good. Then they took a break for a couple issues where they had Ben Purse take over. Really weird storyline. And then we have the Anarchy storyline, which was really good. Really good follow-up that they set up at the end of the Icarus storyline. And have to convert to this really awful 4-parter. It's like 2 good story arcs, and the third one just okay. Yeah, they weren't on the book very long. They were on the book for like a little over a year. I like this book was on the book for a little over 2 years. Yep. But in the case of their run overall, for Flash, it's a damn good run. And a lot of people probably would agree. Their book at the time, basically New 52 started, it was probably by far one of the best books on New 52 that basically they received a lot of criticism. Excuse me, unlike the Superman titles, which that received some flack, and the Wonder Woman did too. Justice League, not really. They did some flack the second story arc, but they didn't receive as much flack as Superman, Action Comics, and Wonder Woman. Those series got a lot of flack during their run. This book was really good. And you gotta appreciate the fact that these two actually used the Rogues really well. And it felt like a really good epic story arc. Though you might find this interesting though. Grant Gustin, the guy who plays the Flash, he actually took inspiration. He basically read only this run for Flash. He didn't read any Silver Age stuff. Silver Age or even pre-Flash. He read just this stuff just to get into the idea of how to play the Flash. Which you can kind of say, you can kind of say that You could say you have some loose inspiration here, but it's not entirely. But there is a character who shows up during Venditti's run. There's inspiration from the main villain of Flash Season 3, which we'll discuss that in a video. But Flash by Buccellato, really good. Okay, so that's it for single review. My next view will be review another comic corner about basically 2 physical trades. One is a classic Batman trade, which is basically being reimagined. The other, of course, is a trade from Scooby-Doo. Yep, I'll discuss that next. Okay, do this next video. Bye.